it's Miss Jasmine. I'm back again with another video. I recently did a poll, and I asked some girls what are some things that y'all are wanting to know more about, and they gave me some really good materials. So I'm weaving their stuff in with some of the things that I already had, and even pushing some of the ideas that I had aside to bring in what it is that y'all need to hear. Okay, so I'm back with new setup, as you can see, new place in my house. I'm trying out some different lighting, new camera, y'all. I got a mic today. Okay, I'm out here. Y'all see me? Okay, and hopefully that just helps with the video. We'll see. I think I like it though. I think I like being over here. The pictures that y'all see though are actually pictures from our wedding. So that's what's on the back wall behind me. But today, y'all, I'm talking about what to do when you find yourself in situations where you've got something tough that you need somebody to listen to, or you maybe need help with, and maybe you don't have someone in the home that you feel like you can talk to. So that's what we are talking about today. Okay. I want to start off with a story about a girl who she was 17 years old, and she was a junior in high school. I'm sorry, a senior in high school. And life was pretty good for her. She was, she made good grades. She was a decent kid. Home was pretty good up until it wasn't. And one day at the end of her junior year, and it just trickled on into her senior year, life just turned up for her. Her parents divorced. Well, they started their separation process, and she was in drill team and doing all the things at school, but she was not happy when she went home. She put on a smile in front of everybody else. She made it work, right? But a lot of times she tried to find a way to not have to go home, and kind of enjoyed having to go to work sometimes so that she didn't have to go home. And one day she just broke. After nights of hearing her parents arguing downstairs, the uncertainty of the future, and even some of the hurtful things that she heard being said, those things started to weigh on her. And it also meant that there were some changes that were going to be made at home for not just her, but for her entire family. And things just escalated one night, and they got pretty bad. And she went to school, but was not there. Like, I'm talking straight zombie, y'all. But she knew she had to go to school. So she actually skipped class one day because she just couldn't take it, and went to another teacher. And that teacher listened to her, and she really couldn't even get the words out because she was crying so hard. And the teacher had a class to teach she wasn't in that period, but that teacher pulled her aside, hugged her, gave her a spot outside of the classroom, and gave her some things to do while she was sitting out there, and told her to take as much time as she needed, and just held space for her. And that allowed her to feel seen, to feel heard, because the things that she needed to talk about were kind of heavy, and she didn't really want to talk to her friends about it. One, she didn't want to bring down the mood of just the vibe of the day, raining on other people's parade. You hear people say that. She didn't want to be judged, and she wasn't sure that her friends even had what she needed. So she went to that teacher, and that teacher gave her what she needed, which was just space. She gave her some time. She hugged her, gave her some space, and allowed her to take as much time as she needed. And that girl was me. That happened one day in school, and I will never forget that teacher. I will never forget that day. That was a very big day. There was a lot that was on my mind, and I still had to show up for the things that I was committed to. And if you have friends that are willing to listen, you have people in your corner that you can go and talk to, that is awesome. That doesn't mean that my friends wouldn't have listened. I really think they would have. But there was a lot going on in me that I wasn't ready to go and talk to my friends about it. So this video is kind of coming from two different angles. If you are someone who is going through something, I'm going to give you a couple tips on who you can talk to, what it is that you can do. If you are someone that's on the receiving side and maybe your friend is coming to you, then I have a couple things that maybe I can help you navigate in those situations. So let's jump in. The first angle I'm going to come from is if you are someone who has something going on that's really personal, or maybe it's just something big going on at home or with you, and you need to get it out. You know that you need to talk about this thing. One, you need to figure out a couple things. You need to evaluate the stakes of the situation. And what I mean by that is what's going on. Who needs to be involved? What do we need to be working towards? Because that's going to lead you to who you need to go talk to. You may be able to go talk to a friend and you just need someone to listen. You don't need someone to help you resolve an issue. Or you may need to do that with a friend, and a friend could help you resolve an issue. But there's some things that our friends cannot help us with because of their age, because of their inexperience, because that they may not have access to the help that we actually need. So in those cases, you may have to go and seek out an adult. So I want you to think about the stakes of the situation. That's going to help you know who you need to go talk to. The second thing is you need to identify what it is that you need. Are you looking for someone to help you solve a problem? Are you looking for advice? Are you looking for just someone to console you? Are you looking for someone just to listen? And what is it that you personally need in this situation? Do you need to be removed? Do you need, whatever it is that you're needing, you need to identify that, because that's also going to help you go to the right individual. And it's also going to help them to be able to help you. Okay. If you are the friend who's on the other side, so you're the friend that's being the receiver, that means someone's coming to you, there's a couple of things that you need to think about. First is you have to make sure that you are taking care of you. Okay? You cannot pour from an empty cup, first of all. So if you are not okay mentally yourself, if you are not taking care of yourself emotionally and physically and mentally, spiritually, all those things, any of those areas, it can be hard for you to show up for somebody else. So keep that in mind. If you're not in a good headspace, I think that it's okay to communicate that. In fact, you don't want to do more harm than good by trying to be there for somebody and you really don't have it, okay? There's a polite way that you can communicate that. And you could say, hey, now's really not a good time for me. I really want to be there for you and I want to show up and I want to be present. Right now I have a lot on my mind. Can you give me a day, or can you give me a moment? I'll be more than happy to help you go to someone else, or I can sit with you while you share that with somebody else, or whatever it is that you need to say. Or maybe you just need a few minutes, whatever. But you identifying that you are in a good headspace to actually listen and help that person, okay? The second thing is you need to identify what it is that they need. So what are they coming to you for? That's going to help you to show up. Kind of like what I mentioned earlier. If you're the person that was saying or sharing something, you need to know what it is that you need. So just like you being there for somebody, you need to know what it is that they need. If they just need someone to listen, they don't need your advice. And so you don't have to prepare anything to give back, right? You just have to listen. Sometimes we really just need someone to listen to us. Maybe they don't know what they need. And so I have a couple of ideas or suggestions that you could make to them. One, you could see if they want a cosigner. Maybe they just need somebody to cosign on what it is that they think, and make sure it's right, though, sis, before you start cosigning. Maybe they need a hype man, okay? They just need somebody to rah with them because they hype, they lit, they trying to go off on somebody or something, a situation that made them mad, and they want somebody to just be in their corner, okay? Maybe they actually do need some advice. They need someone to help them figure out, how should I move forward? What would you do in this situation? Or maybe they need you to just stand beside them because they need you to walk with them to go get help. Maybe they want you to go with them to the counselor's office. Maybe they want you to help them research some different resources to reach out to, hotlines or something like that. Maybe they want you to go with them as they go talk to their parents, whatever that may be. But it could be different things as far as walking this out with them. So make sure that you know what kind of friend you need me to be. My friends and I kind of do that with each other. Not kind of, we do that with each other. And we say, okay, sis, how you want me to respond? Or what kind of friend you want me to be? Like sometimes there have been times where we're shopping and I know I'm on a budget and I wasn't supposed to be spending a lot of money, but I want to know, friend, are you there? Because I can hype you up and I can say, yeah, girl, get them shoes, get that purse, get all that, right? But I ain't finna buy it because I know that's not where I am. Or do you need me to be the friend that holds you accountable, okay? So understanding your role that you need to play, who you need to be for them is definitely going to help you to show up for them even better, okay? I think that's probably, I don't know, I would say like one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing, is to know what it is that you need to do. I would also advise you to be mindful that your friend is more than likely going to be talking out of emotion. A lot of the things that they're sharing with you are going to be coming from their heart and whatever it is that's really bothering them. So be attentive and listen. I think that's the biggest thing, is listen to what they're saying. After you figure out what role you're playing, listen to everything that they're saying to you so that you can respond appropriately. It is nothing worse than you sharing and pouring out your heart or sharing something with somebody and then you waiting for a response and you're like, were you listening? And they ain't said nothing. And they're like, oh, yeah. Or they're on their phone or something. That is the worst, y'all. Don't be that friend, especially in a time when your friend really needs you. Don't be that girl, okay? Nobody likes that girl. And think about how that makes you feel with your parents. I know many of you have probably felt that with your parents. You go to talk to them about something and they have their phone in their hand or you're asking them something and they're doing something else and you know that they're not listening to you by the way that they respond or because they didn't respond. Think about how that makes you feel. Don't be that friend to your friends, okay? I kind of talked about that in our previous video also when talking about some of our etiquette tips. So if you didn't get that, go back and rewatch it. There were 5 tips for you. That was one of them. And so I would also advise you as you're listening to your friend to be mindful that they may be sharing some things that could be concerning. If they say things that don't sit right with you or, maybe you don't feel right about it, you still feel uneasy, or you feel that they're not safe, anything that seems like a red flag to you, don't ignore that. Advocating for your friend is more important than them being mad at you for sharing something that could have possibly saved their life or helped them in their situation. That doesn't mean you go run your mouth and tell the whole school about whatever it is that they shared you. That means that you use wisdom and you go and alert or share that with the appropriate individuals, okay? Sometimes you can also tell your friend, hey, you said such and such tonight and that really concerned me. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Or, hey friend, thank you for opening up to me tonight. Girl, I understand that's really hard what you're going through. I can't even imagine. And I really believe that you would benefit from some therapy or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, you fill in the blanks, girl. So think about, is she saying something that's concerning? If so, who do I need to share that with? Who do I need to alert? Your parents are a good place to start, or your counselors at school are a really good place to start. And I know I've heard of, the scenarios are endless, the things that people are going through at your age. So sometimes the adults in the home are not the place that you want to turn. I understand that. And there are resources and there are ways to help you with that. Just because you're being put in an adult situation, it doesn't mean that you are an adult. So it is okay to get help. It is okay to reach out. It is okay to lean on the people that have been put there in those places for a reason. People in your church are a good place to turn if you're in a local church. Counselors at your school, even though they seem like they just do advising for classes and they make schedules, they do more than that. So they are also a good place to turn. Like I said, your family, adults, parents, not cousins, unless you have like maybe like an older cousin, aunts, uncles. Those are good places to turn. There's also various free resources out there. If you call 988, that is a free line that will get you connected to a medical professional. And I'm also going to drop a couple of links in the chat. There are some really great free resources here in Texas, at least, for you to be able to access any type of help that you need. And it's pretty quick. If you are in a different state, you could totally do a quick Google search and you would be able to find plenty of resources to help in whatever situation it is that you're needing, whether that's abuse, physically, mental, drug abuse, suicide prevention, any type of mental health disorders. Even local food pantries, maybe you guys are needing food. Lots and lots of things are available for free, friend, okay? So I'm going to put some of those things in the chat that will be a good resource for you. So again, just wrapping up what we talked about. If you are the friend that is receiving information from someone, first, make sure that you are in a good place to be able to even hold space for that friend, right? 2, make sure that you are aware of what it is that they are needing from you. 3, make sure that you are ready to listen, Linda. And lastly, make sure that you are being attentive and you know what steps to take afterwards if you do need to help them move forward with any type of help or connecting them with any other resources. As always, y'all, if you have any questions or if you have an idea or a topic that you would love to hear covered, you can shoot me a DM. You can drop it in the comments. And if this video helped you, let your girl know. If you have a scenario that fits this example perfectly, shoot me a DM. I would love to shout you out anonymously, of course, and shout you out for how you handled that situation. I think that bringing light to real situations helps everybody. It's just how we learn as humans, right? So if you are not already, please follow along at Jasmine Nicole. That's Jasmine with a Z, Nicole with no I on Instagram. And if you're not already, sis, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time, y'all. Peace.